Hi, and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. There is a lot going on at this time period and a lot going on with this wonderful program. And we are blessed to have Kimberly Erdley, who is the CEO of the Parent Academy of St. Lucie County with us. And we're going to hear all about what you all do and hopefully get the word out to the community and talk about some of the cool things and events that are coming up. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Why don't we start, Kim, if it's all right with you, with your background, and then we'll segue into how the Parent Academy came to be.
Okay. Well, my background actually is in marketing and public relations. I started out my career selling real estate, believe it or not.
Okay.
However, I became a parent at 30 and decided that I wanted to give back to my community and started looking at ways I could do that and started working in nonprofits, volunteering and running some programs for them. And then that just became something I loved and started developing my skill set in and became program director under some other organizations and then COO under Healthy Start, and it's just grown to that. And then 2 years ago, I was brought on to Parent Academy to kind of change it, transition it, embrace the mission, but grow it. And so I've been there for 2 years now.
Okay, so let's back up.
Okay.
What is, first of all, is Parent Academy unique to our area, or are there other parent academies in the state, the country?
There are other parent academies nationwide. This was originally a seeded project through Houghton Mifflin Harcourt and the school district.
Okay.
The premise being that we want to see more parent engagement in the schools. We all know that really to have successful children, we have to have successful parents. And our community is a little unique in the fact that we have a lot of parents who struggled with school maybe, or who had maybe the ability to move on in their careers but just need to strengthen their skill set.
Right.
Or that need to learn a little bit more about how they can participate in schools without it taxing them or being so stressful.
Right.
So the mission was that we get out there and we encourage parents to read to their kids, that we help parents with developing those skills that they may need to get a better employment position. Maybe it was going back to school, maybe it was learning English, maybe it was finding some on-the-job training. So those resources became very important too. What we also discovered over the years, though, is that a lot of our parents needed a little more help when it came to the actual parenting piece. Parenting is a tough job.
Well, I heard someone once say you should, you need a license to fish, you need a license to drive. Maybe you should need a license to have a child. Of course, I know that's way out there. I don't want to, get in trouble.
I was going to say, we might get some pushback on that one.
I think so. But basically saying, you need, you have to go through training and everything to be able to drive a car or things like that. And,
And kids don't come with manuals or instructions. No. And each family has its own unique challenges, their own unique barriers that they may have. And I know myself as being a parent, there's been times, where I'm like, what am I going to do? I just don't know how to handle A, B, or C.
Right.
I could use a little advice. But I think as a parent, we're often so worried about how we're perceived by other people, right?
Right.
We're always worried that we're not being seen as the best parent. So, right? We do. We worry about those things. So we don't want to be judged for our parenting. We all think we are great parents, and I believe everybody is a great parent. It's just that we have to have sometimes a little extra help, a little advice, maybe some new tools in our toolbox to help our kids, to help us live a little less stressful life.
Well, I have to disagree with you, though, for a second, just backing up. I don't think everybody is a good parent.
Well, maybe I should have said they mean to be, or they think they are.
Yeah,
how about that?
Well, it amazes me how many people who obviously have no business having children, but really aren't embracing the whole, nobody, this is 2018. Nobody is making you have a child. There are free ways to never have a child, with birth control and all the education we have. Why are you doing this? Forget about, I mean, it's expensive. It's, for the woman,
Life-changing.
it's life-changing. It's, and I am amazed. I heard one person say, well, they're your responsibility till they're 18. And I'm like,
No.
no,
Forever.
this person did not have a child.
Right?
And I said, no.
It doesn't end at
sweetheart,
18.
Yeah, it doesn't end, maybe the legal, some of the legal things do, but I mean, this is your burden, your blessing, your love for forever,
And not only that, you're building a responsible human being who's going to be in the community.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
But I'm glad you brought that up, because you're right. There are many ways to actually either plan for families or not plan to have a family.
Right.
And some of those reasons.
And Kim, don't get me wrong. I want to interject. I love your optimism. I always, use the terminology, God doesn't make junk. And of course, you see people's eyes roll, when you make a statement like that, but I believe, because there's some, recently, and in years gone, some bad stuff that's happened by people. So, some people say, oh yeah, what about, but so having optimism is what you should be, especially in your role.
But I'm
so
also a realist.
Yes.
So,
No. So go ahead. I'm
this
sorry.
is a good segue for me to talk about one of our core programs, actually. It's called the Parent-Teen Community Connection Program. And going back to what I said about how I developed programs to fit what needs we saw in the community,
Right.
That's exactly what this program does. It is a teen pregnancy prevention program at its core.
Okay.
But what we do is we want to make sure that the teens are engaged in their community, that they understand what their personal values are, what their personal beliefs are, but we also help them avoid risky behaviors or unprotected sex.
Right.
But we got to get to the core belief of what that is. Why are you, wanting to have a baby at 18?
Yeah.
What is it that makes you think that having a baby is going to be what fixes your life? So we have to start early with our kids
Right.
in the prevention. And we want to make sure that those parents are the primary health educator and help their kids understand decision making. But we can't do that just on one side. So the Parent-Teen Community Connection Program actually works with parents, and we train parents on how to talk to their kids about really tough topics, how to stay in communication with their kids. I think sometimes parents get to that point where the kids are around, 10, 12, 13, they think, oh, the kids got it all figured out. They've got the knowledge they need. The schools are teaching them about sexual health. The schools are teaching them about body image and self-esteem. It's not happening. So we want to make sure that that's done in the home through the parents' belief system. But we want to make sure that the kids are getting factual, medically accurate information and resources so that they can plan for a future that is successful. And
Are you doing this in a classroom setting?
It's done in community. We cannot do it in the school district. We don't do it in the schools.
No. When I say classroom setting, when you're teaching these values and these things, do you do it in a classroom?
So currently we're running teen and parent education, these workshops at Project Rock in Port St. Lucie. We want to make sure that we're in every neighborhood in the county so that parents don't have to travel too far, that kids don't have to travel too far. We want to, remove that barrier of transportation. But these workshops are set up to be fun. They're set up to be non-judgmental, and they're set up to where the kids can feel safe sharing and explaining what's going on with them. They can talk about what's going on at school, what kind of peer pressures they're facing, those type of things. So it's fun, engaging, entertaining. And then we bring the parents back in and we practice some of those skills that we've learned.
Well, I think I like best of all the terminology of workshop versus classes on parenting. It's more, it doesn't have a stigma attached, and I'm going to the Parent Academy to take a class in parenting. I'm going to a workshop which lends itself to, collaborating, just kind of talking about what it means to be a parent, which I'm sure is
that's a big part of it. A lot of times we learn from each other, and some of the struggles that we've had can be similar to other families. So it's really great sometimes, especially after that first session, because we make sure they have ground rules and they know what to expect, and we make them as comfortable as possible. And after that first session, you see that there becomes a camaraderie among the parents,
Right.
and they start sharing, and it really is actually quite, I hate to, it sounds very, I don't know, selfish, but it's fulfilling to watch, watch these parents go, the light bulb go off, and they're like, oh, I get that.
Let's back up a little bit because I think we missed this part. How long has Parent Academy been in existence?
7 years now.
Okay. Do you have a bricks and mortar office?
We do. We're currently located at 800 Virginia Avenue, and that's just our administrative offices.
Okay, so tell me, give me the structure. How many employees do you have?
We're very small. We really only have 5 employees, and that's 2 part-timers and then the 3 instructors.
Okay.
And then the office people, obvious person.
Right.
What our goal is to be mobile in the community. Having an office to me was not that important when we came aboard.
Right.
I felt what was more important is that Parent Academy was everywhere in the community. Having a brick and mortar type storefront really wasn't what the parents needed. What the parents needed was the ability to access the services in their own neighborhoods.
Right. And you cover all of St. Lucie County, including Port St. Lucie.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's by our partnerships, which I'm very thankful for, that places that give us place, to hold these workshops.
Right. Well, okay. So again, let's back up. How many parenting, children, whatever classes do you offer?
So we offer different ones throughout the year, but we serve about 3,000 a year. So
Wow.
It is a lot. I would say on a monthly basis, we've got at least 2 to 4 workshops running at all times.
Oh, wow.
And these are at different evening times, different day times. So, for example, in March, we're running Secrets of Modern Parenting, which is a 4-session parenting training.
And how long do they last?
They're a couple hours, just 2 hours, because we know everybody's busy. But they come back either twice a week or once a week for 4 weeks.
Okay.
And those are being held right now at Project Rock and Graceway Village in March.
Okay.
And then we have them at UP, which is on 25th and Fort Pierce. So we try to hit different areas. Then we have like our partnerships in St. Lucie West and with this Children's Services Council.
Right.
And then we have our partnership out in Tradition area with Kaiser. So we make sure that we're in areas that the parents can easily access us.
Okay. What is an average classroom size?
They're very small, and that's by design.
Okay.
So we try not to have more than 20, 25 in a class.
Wow.
We
Do you
really
fill that up, though?
It averages. I would say if we register 25, we're
Right.
going to get probably 12 to 15, which
Right.
is perfect.
Okay.
Perfect class size. Because if they get any more than 10 to 15, they'll start talking over each other.
Right.
It gets a little less personal and intimate. So that's the reason for running so many classes and smaller sizes throughout the county.
And the best part, as we talked about before the show, is that it's free.
It's all free.
Okay,
And that
which-
is in part due to our funding through the Children's Services Council and United Way. And then we also have some smaller grants through the the Florida Literacy Coalition.
Oh, wow.
So
Do you get any state funding at all?
currently we're not getting any state funding now. But that's the joy of all nonprofits. We're
Right.
constantly looking for funding.
I know.
Yes.
Well, you have you have a fundraiser coming up that I guess is what, in its 3rd year?
It's in our 3rd year.
Okay.
It has proven to be very successful and quite fun. I'm just going to say it's a great time. We don't have the date set. It's usually held in late September, early October.
Okay.
And it is a lip sync battle. And we have usually leaders in our community come in, and they actually compete for this really fantastic belt. It's a huge wrestling belt and bragging rights. So leading up to the competition every year, we put on these kind of trash talking videos. I hate to say it, it sounds terrible, but
Right. No.
they kind of work. Like last year we had Will Armstead and Karen Smith and Jenny Toombs from the city of Port St. Lucie, and they all kind of just
Said, I'm going to, I'm going to win.
They get the mood started, and the whole point is that they put on a heck of a performance. And last year, believe me, it was great performances. And it's all done very similar to the TV show.
Right.
And it is a great evening. It's only $25 a ticket, but it has proven to be kind of really a fun event that everybody really likes to partake in. So
we got to stay tuned to get the date.
You do have to stay tuned. I am going to say, if anybody out there wants to compete in the lip sync battle, just give us a call. Because we're looking for our newest competitors. Karen Smith has won 2 years in a row. She's got to be unseated.
Oh my God, you can come. Oh, okay.
Oh, she's like the reigning champion. She's very serious.
Where is this held?
At the Sunrise Theater.
Oh,
it's
okay.
An evening of fun and entertainment, and they put on a very good show. A very good show.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
It's pretty awesome to see your county commissioners or your mayors. The first year we had Larry Lee. He had a crew up there, and Mayor Orvac was there, and chief of the fire department, chief of police. So we try to get the community itself to participate, and it's all about raising funds for the Parent Academy. I think our community knows the importance of this. We know from an economic standpoint how important it is that parents are successful, because if our parents are successful, our kids are engaged in the community. Economically, it helps our community grow, right?
The schools, is the word out in, do you have the word out in the school system?
It always could be improved, obviously. Right. They're so busy doing everything, but we do. I have to really thank the St. Lucie County School District. Carrie Padrick and Wayne Gent have been fantastic in sharing our flyers with families and posting on their website. Very, very supportive of what we do.
I think I jumped over, and I'm sorry about that, I think I jumped over all the different, all the different programs or workshops that you offer. Can you just for us list those?
I'll do my best.
And give me what they are in a nutshell, please.
So we exist to provide education, support, and resources. So that's what I want to make sure parents understand.
Okay.
So the education pieces could be our English language classes, or maybe they are helping with their kids who are struggling with readers. Maybe we need to connect them with the resources to provide a tutor.
Okay.
We also provide actual redirecting children's behavior classes. So that would be Secrets of Modern Parenting.
Okay.
And those are really structured for kids probably 10 to 17. Maybe the parents are having trouble with behaviors. Maybe there's a lot of arguing or issues in the home. We give parents the tools they need to kind of stop with those junk behaviors, And
let's back up a minute too. I don't know, you may have answered this, but I don't think you did. Are these classes, are they all just for parents, or are they for parents and children?
Grandparents, yes. So redirecting children's behavior and Secrets of Modern Parenting are set up to where they're really just for the parents, caregivers, aunts, uncles, foster parents,
grandparents, whatever.
Yes.
Okay, great.
We don't encourage the kids to attend those classes.
Okay.
Because the parents really need to have the ability to speak openly, honestly, and have their needs met without the children there.
Right.
Plus, they're going to be learning tips and techniques that if the kids know about, they're not going to be as effective.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the Parent-Teen Community Connection Program, the kids are welcome because we do 8 sessions with the kids and we do sessions with the parents separately and then bring them together.
Oh, that's great.
And that program serves from 10 to 18. And then the parents, obviously, the kids, there's no age restriction on parents, right?
Right.
Secrets of Modern Parenting and Redirecting Children's Behavior. Redirecting Children's Behavior is an evidence-based program. We have that one, really, I'd say recommend that for parents kindergarten probably actually they could be even younger than kindergarten, pre-K even.
Okay.
To about 10 years old. That is more working on how to stop the tantrums, stop the yelling, stop the meltdowns in the grocery store, and how you can, as a parent, deal with those. And so if you catch them early, work on those behaviors early, you don't have as much to deal with as the kid continues developing and growing.
Oh,
kind of
obviously.
setting that foundation. And then, like I said, Secrets of Modern Parenting is more like when the kids get a little older and they're in those teenage years, they're talking back,
Right.
a little more sarcasm, they're flexing their wings, they're becoming more independent, and we help the parents deal with that.
Now, your presenters or your teachers or your workshop leaders, what kind of background, education, skill set do they have?
Okay, that's excellent question. Thank you for letting me tell you about that. So, in addition to me being a family life educator and ASEC certified, we also
And what is
have,
that?
So it's from the American Psychiatry and Sexual Health Education. So
Okay,
it's kind
great.
of like a family life educator.
Okay.
And this is a certification that we went through many, many years ago, both myself and my other educator, Donna Gibson. And it teaches you how to be a family life educator all the way through building your workshops, through looking at, the psychological aspect of things and how to work with families in a very non-judgmental way,
Right.
to make sure that you're not bringing in your own belief system, to make sure that you have empathy and the ability to work with these families where they're at, because that's really key, that we cannot judge these families when we meet them.
Yeah. And that's hard. That's got to be hard to do at times. I mean,
Of
it
course.
has to be. Yeah.
Yes, because there's times you just really want to say, oh my gosh, you really shouldn't have been a parent. But,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
are. We're going
Back
to deal with
up.
that now. No.
Well, and obviously, I think the fact that they are there to begin with has to lend itself to empathy, because no matter how bad they are at parenting or how much you're going to have to train them, the fact that they care enough to take the time, I mean, that's got to take away the stigma to begin with. At least it would for me.
Yeah, of course. And some of them are at their wits' end when they come to us, though. I mean, they don't know where else to turn.
Are any of them court ordered?
No, we don't have
Okay.
court ordered. Let's just say that we're not certified for court order at
Okay.
this time.
I was just curious, you know.
I have had that posed to us from many families, and that is something we are looking into.
Yeah.
The other thing is co-parenting through divorce.
Right.
We've
right.
had a lot of requests for that too.
Okay.
So those are things that will be coming in the future because we are
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at
what a
certifi-
great, oh boy, I bet you there's a big need for
big
that.
need.
Oh,
Big need. And co-parenting now means so much. It used to be, I think, just when we looked at, how do we co-parent now that we're divorced? But now we're looking at parents being co-parents. We're looking at people who have been incarcerated, who other
Yeah.
people are raising their kids.
Right.
So there's a lot that encompasses.
Yeah.
But going back to my educators,
Yeah,
because
no,
I don't want to
please,
miss that
please.
question. Donna Gibson also is our what we call our senior community educator. She's been doing this for over 15 years.
Wow.
She is an expert in working in the faith communities and still working in the faith community through a medically accurate, factually based education program, but still being mindful of those boundaries and belief systems. Then we have Tessa, who is fairly new with us. Tessa is a certified elementary school teacher who is going through the family life education as we speak. And then myself, who actually is education and works in the workshops, not classroom, also.
I'm just curious, how many of your parents, first of all, do you see mostly two parents coming or just one?
Just one.
Really?
It's very rare that we get both parents. It's
Really?
refreshing, but the majority of the parents we serve are female. They're the moms.
Well, and what a shame, because obviously if everybody, even if the father didn't need, guidance or education, I would think it would be much more effective if both of them came.
It is always much more effective, and we
Yeah.
do encourage that. And a lot of times we've had moms or grandmothers who've gone through it, and then they'll come back and do it again with their partners.
Well, that was the next question. How many mothers, without their partners, how many mothers do one class and say, oh my gosh, this is great, I'm going to do all of them?
Yeah, I would say probably a third of the
Really?
parents we serve will
Okay.
come back. And that is our goal, is that we want to make sure that once we're connected with them, that we become a trusted resource for them.
Okay.
Because parenting's every day for the rest of your life. We said that. So we want to make sure that for the rest of their life, they've got a
They know that
connection and that we're here
they've
for
got
them.
a place to turn
Right.
to. So, can someone, if someone's listening to the show or watching the show and they say, well, I don't know if I want to go through a whole class, but I've got just a few questions. Can they call you?
They certainly can.
Okay.
They most definitely can. So we have bilingual staff that we're calling parent navigators.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
they take the phone call and they'll ask a few questions just to find out where the parents are at or the caregivers are at, find out what their needs are, and then make sure that they're connected to those resources.
Okay.
And then they'll even follow up after a couple days and say, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, you called us about this class or this service. Did you happen to get with them yet?
Oh, that's great.
And that lets them know that we really are serious about being there for them.
Is there a hotline for this? Is it just the main number?
It's the main number, but
Okay.
we have a cell phone that we
Why
take
don't you give us
turns.
those? And it will come up on the
Okay, it's 772-302-3147.
And that's the cell phone they could call pretty much
Yeah, we forward it to the
anytime?
cell phone, and yes, and if you have to leave a message, we will call you back fairly quickly.
Okay.
The reason for that, and I'm glad you like the term hotline because we've looked at that, is because most of the time parents call us when they're in crisis.
Right, right.
And if we don't catch the caregivers and the parents while they're in that crisis mode where they're just wanting to pull their hair out or
Or
whatever
throw the
it
baby out
is.
the window
Yeah.
or whatever, which, everybody's been there.
Right. If we don't catch them and talk to them then, there's a good chance that when we finally call back, let's say if we called back 2 days later, that things have calmed down, they're no longer going to be interested in taking a training or a workshop.
Right, right.
So timing is key. We want to make sure that we are available when they need us.
No, and I have to say that is very refreshing, and I applaud you for taking that stance, if you will, in that you are a resource for even the person that doesn't want to go through a whole training, but you can say, well, if you really need this and you're worried about that, you can call this number, or if they just have a general question, this just happened last night, how would you handle it? You can answer that.
Right. And we're there to help parents be an advocate for their families too. Maybe they're struggling with an IEP plan at school. Maybe they don't understand the IEP plan.
What is an IEP plan?
See, an individual education plan.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
for
right.
kids who have maybe some special needs or who have maybe ADHD, for example, or something like that, and the parents are struggling because their kids are getting in trouble in class, maybe they need to know how to navigate the school system, who to talk
Right.
to.
Okay.
We can do things as simple as that. Our staff has actually taken some of our non-English speakers and helped them register for school to make sure their kids get those VPK or get into kindergarten in a timely manner. So we don't have a lot of staff, but the staff is committed to making sure the people that contact us get what they need.
That's terrific. Well, thank you for being on the show. This was wonderful. It flew by.
It did.
Thanks.
Thank you.